Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. It's your boy Bumblebee. Today we're going to be running through the James Wan movies and yeah, going to put them into some sort of rating order. This is the hardest rating video I've ever had to do, to be honest, because none of his films are bad. But you know, someone's got to be at the bottom, one of them's got to be at the top. So I love James Wan. He's a Malaysian Australian director, probably still most famous for Saw, but you know, 10 films into his career, varied films between action and horror, all of a real high consistency level, good, all of them. You know, and yeah, he really is one of the breakthrough directors in Hollywood. And yeah, so we're going to get into it and we're going to go through the movies one by one and yeah, see if you agree with these ratings. I'm sure you won't because all the films are really good. Everyone's got a different favourite James Wan film. This is personal, you know, it's not objective. I'm not sort of going to go with the one that IMDb rates the highest or, you know, the one that's got the highest score on Rotten Tomatoes. This is just how I feel about these films. I've tried to watch all of them in the recent weeks to try and not be biased towards any. I didn't manage to get them all done, but yeah, some of them I've seen so many times I don't really need to think. So yeah, without further ado, we'll get into it. So at number 10 is the horror film Dead Silence. Okay, so this film is really good. It stars Ryan Quantin, the Australian actor. He used to be Vinny in Home and Away way back in the day. If you remember that, then you're as old as I am. Also has Donnie Wahlberg in it, who appeared in some of the later Saw franchise films. Yeah, this is about the legend of Mary Shaw. Ryan Quantin's character, his wife dies in grisly circumstances. He heads back to his hometown to investigate, and you know he opens up all these secrets about this woman, lady Mary Shaw. It has one of those creepy little rhymes in it, you know, like Nightmare on Elm Street does. Um, and it has a twist at the end, which is absolutely amazing. Obviously, I'm not going to spoil it for you, but yeah, you know, this film is really good. I didn't really want to put it last because it's not a film that deserves to be last on any sort of list because it is good. But you know, testament to James Wan, he's slowly got better, and this is one of his earlier films. So yeah, this is Dead Silence. In at number 9, then I got to use a slipcover here because this is a double pack, and I'll forget about the other one if I keep it the Blu-ray in the slipcover, and because it's further down. So the next one on the list is Insidious 2. Again, by no way a bad film. It's towards the end of the list mainly because it's more of the same. Wasn't as good as the first one. The jump scares don't land quite so hard. But you know what it does do is it expands the mythology and it gives you background on some of the other characters like Lin Shaye's character. You know, so it does everything a good sequel should do. But you know, with the high consistency of good films, got to have ones at the back. So yeah, this is Insidious 2. Patrick Wilson, Rose Byrne, God, who else is in it? Lin Shaye, Lee Winnell, who writes most of James Wan's films, and Barbara Hershey, most famous for The Entity back in the day. So yeah, Insidious 2, wicked. Okay, then in at number 8 is an action thriller, moving away from the horror a little bit. This stars Kevin Bacon. This is Death Sentence. This is a revenge type thriller. Kevin Bacon's son is murdered during a gas station holdup. The guy gets off in the court on a technicality. Well, that's not true, actually. Kevin Bacon was going to testify against him, but the judge was only going to give him 3 years, which wasn't enough. So Kevin Bacon decides to say he wasn't sure if it was him and then go and extract his own revenge. This film gets bloody. This film gets messy. There's a lot of collateral damage in this film, but it's superb. Kevin Bacon, you know, looking at this role, he could have just been on autopilot. You know, you see Bruce Willis on autopilot in all his films now. I don't know, other actors, Sylvester Stallone maybe, all on autopilot. But Kevin Bacon, he really gives his all in this film, and it's a cracking revenge action thriller. You know, I watched this one recently because I couldn't remember much about it, and yeah, I was blown away. It's way better than I thought it was. It's gory, the shootouts and all are really good. It's far-fetched, mind you know, don't get me wrong. There's no sense of realism in this film, but you know, over the top, you know, that's what we like in it with these sort of films. You know, if people love Man on Fire, that's over the top in it, you know, so this is just as good. So that's Death Sentence. In at number 7, this is James Wan's newest film. Again, I really like this film, but the other ones are just better. This is Malignant. So I think a lot of people didn't really know how to take this film when it first came out. But you've got to understand it's self-aware. There's no way a filmmaker like James Wan, this far into his career, is going to make a movie that comes across like a B movie, like an extended episode of The X-Files, without knowing exactly what he's doing. Okay, so this has giallo-esque elements from the 70s. It also has 90s kind of high concept, over the top action horror in it. I won't go too far into the plot. I'm sure you've all seen it if you're watching this video, but it does twist and turn. What I want to give James Wan props for is, it's easy to switch between genres when you're doing an action film and then a horror film. But what he does in this film is he takes his usual bread and butter and then he flips the script about an hour in. So he doesn't just give you a different film. He gives you what you think is a normal James Wan film, and then it just flips into this other crazy high concept well, I don't want to say nonsense because it's good, but it is just, it's mind blowing. There's a scene in a jail. I won't get too far into it, but if you can watch that scene without smirking from year to year and getting goosebumps, then you don't love these sort of movies like I do. So this is a great film. Check it out. It's Malignant. Okay, then in at number 6 is another sequel. This is The Conjuring 2. Okay, so this is James Wan's created universe. Stars Patrick Wilson and Vera Farmiga as what's the name? The Warrens, who are a famous pair of, I don't know what you want to call them, ghost hunters from the 60s, 70s, maybe even the 50s, and they're known for having this haunted museum in their house with all these different creepy artifacts. One of them's the Annabelle doll, which is famous now. Not as cool as Chucky in the slightest, mind, but hey ho. Anyway, so this film is really good. It's really well made. It's set in Britain, so that gives it an extra bit of thing for me. It's based on the Enfield hauntings from the 70s. There have been other stuff based on that, but this is probably the strongest portrayal. It's not quite as good as the first one. Maybe the first one just comes across as slightly more original, even though it's a haunted house movie. They're a dime a dozen these days, but it's just so well done. My problem with this one is it's probably slightly over long on the running time. It surpasses 2 hours, and although I never get bored, it's always difficult to just slap a movie like this on. You need to make sure you've got the time to sit down and watch it. But overall, the kids in it are really good actors. They give themselves to the role. James Wan gets a performance out of everyone. Vera Farmiga, she's just one of my favourite actresses anyway. She can do no wrong in my eyes. Amazing in Bates Motel and Orphan. So yeah, we like Conjuring 2. Great film. Okay, then coming into the top 5. The first one up is James Wan's first foray into superhero movies. This is the DC movie Aquaman. So this is canon to Zack Snyder's Justice League universe. Let's have a nice steel book of it. I haven't opened it yet. Got it in the sale not too long ago, £12 off Zavi. Can't fault that at all. So we've got Jason Momoa as the titular character, Aquaman. It also stars Nicole Kidman. Tamura Morrison is in it, better known as Boba Fett, or Jake the Muss from Once Were Warriors. Now that's a film. The other guy's in it, I think he's in Candyman and Us. He plays the Mantra. He's got a weird name. Let's see if it's on here, because I don't want to do him a disservice by mispronouncing his name. Yeah, Yahya Abdul Mateen II. So he's a really good actor, fair play, good charisma, good screen presence. Also stars Amber Heard, yeah, William Dafoe, Patrick Wilson. He loves a James Wan movie, don't worry. Dolph Lundgren, can't even remember him in it. Been a while since I've seen it. But yeah, star cast. Great film. It's got the one scene where they go to the trenches and it's got these really weird beasts, really well done. CGI is second to none. And yeah, if James Wan is going to get these big budgets moving forward, then, he's going to make some really good eye-popping cinema, I got to be honest. So Aquaman, great film. Check it out. Okay, drop them all on the floor. And in at number 4, okay, some people will probably put this further down on their James Wan list because most people are fans of James Wan for his horror, but this is The Fast and the Furious 7. Now, I don't know how many franchises can have 9 movies and the best ones are 5, 6 and 7. Usually, it's the first couple of the best, or they might do a remake later on that's pretty decent, but actually in the Fast and the Furious world, 5, 6 and 7 are the best. because they got good directors. Okay, 5 and 6 is Justin Lin. He's a really good director. Number 7 is James Wan. Okay, James Wan was a brave man taking on this film. This is the one where Paul Walker died during filming. So, you know, I can imagine there was a lot of emotions running wild on set. There's the song that goes with it, you know, the heartbreaking song by oh, I can't think what the rapper's name is now off the top of my head. He's always been the Stonehead rapper, and I can't think what his name is, but you'll know the song. You know, they've had to use CGI for parts of Paul Walker. Majority of the times it's a different actor, just you see his back. I'm not sure if it's his brother. I could be making that up, to be honest, mine. But this film is great. I don't even like the Fast and the Furious movies, but I watch 5, 6, and 7 all day. The action sequences are breathtaking. Again, over the top like Death Sentence, but you know what you come into expect in a Fast and the Furious movie. I don't need to go through the cast. Do I? Vin Diesel, Paul Walker, Dwayne Johnson, Jason Statham, Kurt Russell's popping up in this one. So yeah, you know, if you like James Wan but you don't like action films or you don't like Fast and the Furious, you still need to give this one a chance because yeah, it's a really good film. It hits all the buttons: emotion, action, intensity, good fun. You know, really good film. Okay, so now we come to the meat and bones, the top 3, in my opinion, of James Wan's films. Okay, so number 3, we're going to have Insidious. Okay, so Insidious, I remember when Insidious first came out and everyone was raving about it. The jump scares were amazing. There are not many movie directors who can orchestrate a daytime scare using actors rather than any CGI and make it actually creepy. And there's 2 or 3 in this one. You know, there's the little boy just dressed up in all the posh gear with the hat jumping out the wardrobe. There's the Darth Maul lookalike guy. There's the there's the guy in the long trench coat who haunts the family as well. You know, this film, and I think it comes in at a PG-13 as well. You know, I'm not saying that you're gonna, it's not shit your pants scary like, but you know, for all the sort of all the boxes he had to tick, you know, he's still giving us a really good horror film, even though it's for the masses to watch. So yeah, that is Insidious. Oh, and Tiptoe Through the Tulips is the most creepiest, weirdest tune ever. So yeah, Insidious. So there's 2 left. You can probably guess which 2 they are, but which order are they coming in? Okay, I gotta be honest, the first one is going to be the game changer. In at number 2 is Saw. So this is a nice 4K release. It's got the HDR, the colours just pop, the greens, the blacks are really deep, you know, zero crush on them. This is a really good film. I gotta be honest, I wasn't bowled over with it as much on repeat viewing, but that's probably because you know what's coming at the end, so it doesn't hit you so hard. A lot of the deaths are done off screen. A lot of it's the detectives investigating the crime scenes afterwards, but you get flashbacks. You know, there's enough to know what's going on, and yeah, it's just a great twist. Lee Winnell stars in this as well as wrote it. Also, Danny Glover's in it. Carrie Albus is how you say his surname. He's a pretty famous actor. He pops up in loads more Saws, doesn't he? So yeah, this is really good. Tobin Bell obviously is Jigsaw as well. There's some interesting things about this film. I watched a documentary on it because I always go through the extras on the 4Ks. And you know, the budget restraints they had, the way they had to save money, the locations, some of the locations they shot in that they managed to wrangle for free from friends. Some of the scenes are shot in different countries, so they've had to replace the actors, like the Asian detective, you know, in some scenes it's not even actually him. It's another actor, and then in some scenes that actor plays one of the female characters, so they just paint his nails so you think it's the woman and you only see the hands. Really interesting stuff. And you can see that you know, when you're working on a budget, you need someone who's creative, and that's exactly what Lee Winnell and James Wan are, is super creative. So yeah, this is number 2 on the list. This is the game changer. This is Saw. So here we go then. Number 1. We all know what it is, don't we? Because there's one film we haven't spoken about, but to me this is James Wan at his peak. This is The Conjuring. Okay, lovely steelbook, embossed and everything. Great, I love this purchase. This is one of my favourite physical media things that I got. Okay, so like I was saying about Conjuring 2, it follows the Warrens, played again by Patrick Wilson and Vera Farmiga. They go into a house that's haunted, and things certainly go bump in the night. You know, this doesn't reinvent the wheel. It's full of the tropes. It's a little bit cliched, but the scares just work. You know, it's so intense. The last half an hour, gee whiz, like, you know, you're really on the edge of your seat. You know, turn this up loud, man, and oh God, I tell you, you'd be right pulled into it. Um, it's a really good film. Obviously, it's a really good film because it's number one on the list. So yeah, James Wan, probably my favourite director. Definitely my favourite current director. I mean, John Carpenter's probably my favourite director of all time. I also love Guillermo del Toro, Alex Ajar, Denis Villeneuve. So James Wan is an esteemed company in my physical media collection. But I think he's the only director who's got more than say 3 films in his catalogue, and I own them all. So I got all 10 James Wan movies. I love them all. I can watch them anytime. So yeah, number one out of all the James Wan movies, The Conjuring. Got a nice little picture of Annabelle on the back there, although not really related to the film. So if you haven't seen this, then stop watching and go and watch it. But I'm sure you have. So yeah, so there we are. Then that's my top 10 James Wan movies. Hope you enjoyed the video. Hopefully, if you love James Wan, you would have already seen them all. But if there's anything there you hadn't seen, maybe Death Sentence, or maybe you didn't realise Fast and the Furious 7 was James Wan, then go and check those out. Leave a note in the comments if you want rating your movies, or give me some feedback on my ratings, or if you think I'm talking through my ass, let me know. That's fine. I certainly won't take offence. So anyway, I'm Bumper. It's been a pleasure. Peace out.